ahead of where we were at, I think. But anyway, so I didn't ask at the initial appointment. I just didn't realize that I needed to do that. So when I did my follow-up appointment with her at the end of that is when I did the verbiage. And it's so simple that I felt silly, because I was just like, hey, so here's where you can really help me out, which is not a big deal. It's just if you're not used to it, it's like you have to like discipline your mind to be like, this is normal.
Yeah.
So I asked her and she was like, oh, totally. You've helped me out. Like anything I can do for you. And I was like, okay, well, I'd like 10 people then, like I was like 5 was a stretch, but now we're going to double that, But it was really, really simple. And then she didn't end up giving me phone numbers. I asked for phone numbers. She gave me Facebook contacts, which I didn't prefer.
Mm-hmm.
But 2 of the 5 have like already been like they sort of passed on it with me or didn't respond. But then she told me, she was like, yeah, they're both waiting I'm like testing it for 30 days and they're going to see like how it works. So I was like, oh, this is so funny. It's like this little in circle with them.
Yeah.
And then one of the girls that said no to me is somebody that I know. And so I just like used the script on her and was like, hey, even though you're not interested, like I only talk to people that I know or that I've been recommended to. So blah, 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 blah. And she was like, yeah, let me think about it. And I was like, okay, that was super easy, So anyway, and I remember you did that follow-up Zoom about, is it 30 to 40% will not respond to you?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Statistically? Okay. So anyway, so I've just been like trying to keep that in mind. But it's been a lot of fun to just have forward momentum and to find that it's so simple and that it works. I'm using scripts at every appointment. I'm just telling people that I'm revising my presentation and asking for their feedback if they like it. So I'm doing it in like a humble way. And they're all like, oh yeah, that was so great. But then they view you as normal because you're not polished.
Yeah.
And so I really like even that aspect. I don't feel any pressure to memorize anything. And I know I have to memorize referrals. Tasha was really clear on that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to work on that. But it's been really, really fun.
Nice. Okay. So we're done then for this week. You went over everything I wanted to share. No, I'm kidding.
I think that's called affirmation. That just means we're on the right track, right?
Yes. That means you are using. So for Virginia, right? Heather just shared that was a follow-up that she did. So obviously follow through with the script and let us know what happens next week too. Thanks for sharing, Heather. Anyone else? Yeah. Carol, go ahead.
Okay.
That I ended up getting this hostess from a referral from another class. So I'm really, I enrolled her first and then she said she would have a class. So I'm really excited, but now I'm looking forward to using this technique at the end of this class and trying to get referrals from the whole group.
Yes.
So I'm excited about using this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if you get one, right, you get one. With that referral, you get the next, and it just keeps, it's like the gift that keeps on giving.
And talk about my incentives that I have, and, hopefully they'll all be like, oh, I could do this, and make it like a Friday night fun girls' night.
Yeah. But remember, don't forget the mohawk, right? Not mohawk, but a mullet, business first, and then.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
Of course.
Nice. Okay. Cindy, you had your hand raised.
Okay, yes. So I haven't done the referrals thing yet. Tomorrow I get my first opportunity to do that. But I've had 2 enrollments this month. And for the last 2 or 3 months, I haven't had any enrollments. So I've got 2 so far this month. Tomorrow will hopefully be my 3rd. And it's where I'm going to have my first opportunity to talk to somebody about referrals. And because the script that you memorize for that is short and kind of simple,
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty stinking excited to use it.
Woohoo! Well, I can't wait to hear about it. So awesome. So we're already in that mindset that we're going to go ahead and ask and use the script. So perfect. All right. Anyone else want to share?
Hi, Harriet. This is Rolene.
Yeah. Hi, Rolene.
Hi, I'm doing this on my phone. You don't get any feedback on my phone, right?
No, not at all. You're good.
Perfect. Okay, well, I actually did have some wins, some opportunities to have wins this this week. So I had a class on Sunday, and I pretty much followed the script through on the presentation, and I had some really great testimonies that happened during the class, which was super exciting. I did sign up one lady, and there was another woman who came in right at the end of the class, bought a oils book, talked to me a little bit, and started to tell me about her son or grandson who is bipolar. And instead of saying, well, let's crack open the book and look at it right now, I says, you know what I usually do? And so we set up a sales. I know, it's like rewiring my brain. So I set up a sales call with her and another lady about Slim and Sassy. Slim and Sassy. Talked to them, and then I talked to Phyllis last night, and she tried to put me off about, oh yeah, I'll buy a kit, but I have to put my dog down Friday, so let's wait till Saturday. And I'm thinking, how depressed would that be? So I said, you know what? You may not feel like talking on Saturday. Why don't we just go ahead and do the paperwork now, and I can put it in Saturday? So she got the smaller kit, which was fine. She added an essential oil for her grandson, and then we set up a time to talk next week after she gets the kit. So I'm really happy with that.
Nice.
And then I had another lady call me out of the blue and said she couldn't accept an aroma touch from me because she couldn't drive. So I set up an appointment to go to her Saturday, and I turned it into a sales call. I says, you know, when I come over, why don't you have another friend there, and I'll do an aroma touch on both of you, and we'll talk about some options you have, and maybe if you want to buy something, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. So,
Check you out. Woohoo! You're going. Nice.
thank you.
High fives, like 10s, 20s. Wow, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing. And then Catherine wrote in the chat, she's like, my win is catching up through week 4. So yeah, anything, right? At this point, sometimes we're like, oh, if you didn't schedule an appointment, that's okay. Like, what did you do? Are we still planning? Are we still using our planners? That's a win, right? We're here. That's a win. Awesome. Okay, so let's get into the content. So for this week, I have some goals or objectives for everyone. So there's 3 of them. 1, we want you to ask for referrals on each appointment moving forward. That's 1. 2, we want you to feel comfortable and have it just be a part of what you do. And then 3, we want you to understand that this benefits the customer, and this removes pressure from your business, and that most customers are receptive.
Can I say something to that?
Yeah, go ahead. Who is that?
It's Heather.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
It was so phenomenal that in the chat that when we were getting in our training, that Tasha was she had like a little blurb, Easy Love, about how we're not those people, which was like just such a big thing in my head. Sorry, she's 3. You know, and so it was like so great just to hear somebody say, like, you're not that person. Like, you totally care for the customer, and like you provide a really great service. And these are things that I like tell myself as a discipline, and like I know them, but when it comes to referrals, I would always just be like, no, it's just wrong, you know? And so that just was my error. So that was very eye-opening and very freeing for me to hear. So I was just really, really thankful. I mean, like every week, I'm always like, this is so great, you know? So anyway, just wanted to say that. Thanks. I like your objectives. Those are cool.
Okay. And she's on. Tasha, say hi. Oh, you did.
What's up, guys? Sorry. Always selling.
Okay, so we are moving on to the pros and cons of asking for a referral. So after this group coaching call, you will ask for referrals at the end of each appointment, right? And the verbiage in the course creates action for the customer. So how does this help the customers?
They're helping their friends.
Okay.
We provided a service to them. The oils are the gift. It's changing their lives, and we're helping their friends with that.
Okay. Anyone else? Does anyone else have anything to add?
I think it
We're offering them a
validates that
free
they did the right
gift
thing.
with a referral.
Go
We're
ahead.
offering them a free gift with a referral.
Okay, really? They get a free gift. Lewis, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think it validates that the first customer did the right thing, that they helped themselves, and in turn, they're helping their friends by giving the referrals.
Yes. Okay. So let's spend some time. Let's brainstorm. Let me share my screen with you so you have that. I'm always having this weird screen sharing moment. Okay. So let's go over what are the pros and cons for customers giving you referrals. So let's start with the pros. And you mentioned
We
some.
have the gift, right? I wrote them down in the chat too.
Oh,
So we
you
have,
did? Okay.
yeah. That we have the gift, and then helping their friends and family, and then also just that validation that they were doing the right thing.
Okay.
Cool.
Any cons? Dun, dun, dun. There aren't any.
Well, I
There's one.
quick comment though about the script. I felt like there's so much emphasis on focusing on the customer, but the script, the way it was written for me, I felt like now the focus is on me. Like I'm asking for just the wording. I just felt like it was like, okay, can you help me now? And I don't know. I just, for me, I had a hard time with it.
Okay. Tasha, should we go into this?
You want to take it, or you want me to?
Well, we talked about this, right? Do we unpack this? I say you go for it.
Okay, I'll go for it.
Yeah.
So it's intentional.
Uh-huh.
So you've gone through, Lisa.
Yeah.
You've done an agenda. You've helped
Yep.
them with their goals.
Yep.
Right. You've connected the dots. How do they feel about you at this point?
Hopefully they love you.
They love you, right? They love you.
Okay.
And so when you love someone, do you want to help them?
Yeah.
Are you actually, like, think about this, right?
Yeah.
You're actually looking for a way to help that person. The difference is in your old life, pre-emerge life, when they bought a kit, that you felt that they were helping you by buying a kit.
Yeah.
But in this world, they feel like you have helped them by selling them a kit. So what's hard to explain, and I could not figure out how to do this on the videos, and I have to figure out a way to explain this, is you're sitting across from me if I just sold you a kit, and you're like, thank you so much for helping me. And emotionally, you're thinking, how could I help you? Do you see how that's what the customer is feeling and thinking?
Yeah. I mean, I sat down with my a couple uncles and aunties the other day, and yeah, I mean that was the feeling they were giving me. Like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, and they're super excited about getting their oils and stuff like that. So yeah, I get it.
And so this approach is more assertive on purpose, and I'll let Harriet talk about why. But it's okay to ask for help. And so some of this is just like some stuff you got to talk to your therapist about.
Yeah. That is an issue for me.
Right? Like, can we be real for a second? Who has a hard time asking for help? So when we write that line in and you're like, here's where you can help, and you're just like, I can't even say that.
Yeah.
That is more about something going on with you than it is about them.
Okay.
Right? And so I'll ask you something, Lisa, because I know your team has benefited a lot from the trainings you've gone through, right?
Yes. And oh, by the way, I wanted to add that my Japanese builders are translating it into Japanese.
I love that.
So
but you paid me, right? You paid us. But who do you feel has helped too?
Oh, definitely my team.
Yeah. So if I were to say, hey, Lisa, if I called you up and I said, hey, Lisa, here's where you could help me out.
Yep.
How would you emotionally respond to that?
Of course.
You'd be like, yeah.
Yep.
right? I think that the verbiage is transparent, right? It's just the truth.
Yeah.
Here, like, how did you like it? Here's where you can help me out.
Got
Right?
it.
I do not want to be in the network marketer stalker person. So I only meet with people that I've been personally recommended to. So what I need you to do is, and they're sitting, and you see how you guys are nodding your heads? You're like, yeah, I want to help you. Like emotionally, are you like, yeah, tell me how I can help you. Tell me how I can help you. And that's why you can say something like, because they're nodding their heads the whole time. And then you say, what I need you to do is jot down 5 people. And they're like, right on, I got that.
Got it.
And I can't figure out how to explain that in a video.
And I can't say it nicely what I want to say, right? 'Cause I'm a little, you know what I mean? So I'm like, oh, wait, how do I say this without not being mean?
Yeah.
But not really mean. Like, you know, it might come across that way. So I was like, you do it. So.
Yeah, because it's about our issues, ultimately.
Yeah, and it makes sense when you explaining, the scenario where, you just help them out a lot and they're super excited. And so why wouldn't, I get it now.
They want to do both. They want to share the word and they want to help you because you're the real deal. And it goes back to what Heather was talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. You are the real deal now. Mm-hmm. Now, 6 months ago, you might have been that network marketer on accident. And I don't know. Right. And that's okay. Right. We have a new way. But now you're the real deal. And when someone experiences you now, like, aren't they just blown away by how professional you are, how kind you are, how caring you are? You are the real deal. And people want to help the real deal. Don't you? When you see this Girl Scout who is just full of light, what do you do? Do you want to help them? Or are you like, Girl Scout? Right? When you see like your kid brother who's working their tail off to save up for college, what do you want to do? Here's an Amazon gift card, kiddo.
Yeah.
Right? We want to help amazing people. And so some of it is really like looking yourself in the mirror and saying, I'm providing an amazing service. And sometimes that's hard for us. And the other is saying, you know what? It's okay to ask for help. You guys are not going to build your essential oil empire alone. Mm-hmm. You just can't do it, right? I can't build my sales training empire alone. I would end up in the hospital, right? And so we can't do that either. So yeah, we ask for help. Cindy, go ahead.
I was going to say that for me, that verbiage was extremely freeing because I have trouble asking people for help, but yet usually after I've had a conversation with they're thinking, wow, you were so helpful. And so for me to go, oh, it's okay for me to be vulnerable and say, hey, here's how you can help me out. And I expect to have great things from this. I haven't had a chance to use it yet. Tomorrow will be my first appointment since I've memorized that verbiage, but I'm excited about it because I'm like, holy cow, that is so freeing to go, yeah, they do want to help you. So now I'm just being open and honest about here's how you can do it. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Cool. All right, Harry, go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah, let's go. Okay, so let's go back, right? So let's walk through how customers screw up their friends and family.
Yeah, Vani actually mentioned it in the chat, so it's perfect.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so this is how it goes, right? You have a customer, they love their oils. Their friend is sick, and your customer says, you should use these oils. Here you go, right? And the friend says, cool. How much are these? The customer says, my kit was $275. And then the friend goes, oh, well, that's a lot. Yeah, maybe later. And the customer says, okay, let me know when you need more. So let's fast forward 2 months, and you finally ask your customer for a referral. Your customer now responds, I'd love to refer you, but no one I know is interested. So what do you see happening here?
They haven't built value.
Right.
They just see the money, but they don't understand the value of it.
Yeah. Right. And so who's the biggest loser in this situation?
I think Rolene was going to add something too.
Oh.
I went ahead and unmuted you, Rolene.
Okay. So what I was going to say is they've poisoned the well almost for you because they've tried to do your job and they don't know how because they haven't had this wonderful training we have. So, without really knowing how to share it, it is very hard to, and they're so excited they want to. So yeah, that's what I think. It's just, we need to ask for the referrals right away so that we can prime the pump and not have them poison the well.
Yes, that's exactly where I'm going, right? So this story maybe makes your heart hurt a little bit, right? Because if you really believe in the life-changing properties of your product, then, right, we will argue that then you have an ethical obligation to use the usually approach on this customer's friend so that they can actually get a kit instead of not ever getting a kit. So like you mentioned, right, you're getting ahead of the scenario. So being proactive instead of reactive, which is what a lot of you mentioned in your company stories as well. And so by connecting with the friend before your customer has this conversation, you're preventing this from happening. So, but some of you might be hesitant, right? Just like some people are uncomfortable with sales. So why might some people be hesitant to ask for referrals? And this goes back to the conversation we had earlier, right? Because you don't want to be that person. I think, Heather, we were discussing that, right? So who's that person? Describe them for me.
That person is all about themselves and just making sales.
Okay.
If you're talking about that person.
Yes, that person. That person. So they're all about sales.
How often does that person call a referral? That person. Like 1 million times. And
Maybe.
if the referral says no, I'm not interested, how does that person respond?
They try to talk you into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're pushy.
Mm-hmm. So they stalk you, keep calling, right? You feel it when they're talking to you, like that vibe just comes across, right? So then how do we generate leads?
By being genuine and real and helping them.
Okay. And where does it come from? So your customers, where do they currently come from?
Oh, your customers?
Mm-hmm.
People that you meet, people that you already know, people that you meet for the first time.
Okay.
Well, what happens when you run out of those people?
Yeah, that's why I like the verbiage for the referral thing.
So then you start acting like that person, right? If you don't ask for referrals.
Exactly. And I don't want to ever be that person.
Yeah. Start attending every networking group in the world.
Or like pouncing on the person in front of you in the grocery store, like, hey, hey, hey. No. So yeah, you become that person. So I like how this conversation is just kind of evolving naturally. Anyhow, so if you asked on each appointment, right? And so let's say you have 8 appointments a month and we're asking for 5, right? So that would be a total of 40 referrals a month. How would that make you feel when you approach people?
Confident.
Much more relaxed.
Yes. So the pressure is gone, right, Virginia?
Yeah. Pressure's off me because I've got all these people I can contact.
Yeah. And how would that make the customer feel?
Unpressured. No pressure at all. Like, oh, okay, you're just giving me information and I get to make my decision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I also see in the chat, right? So, and what would that happen to you? And I think we already said this earlier, your confidence, right, would probably shoot. And so in the closing part, we say, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you this question. Would you like to buy this kit and get blank for free? Why does that make you feel so comfortable? Okay. Do you understand my question?
Yeah, can you repeat it again?
Okay, so we're taking the referral. So we're thinking about referrals, right? But in our closing, when we get down to the closing, right, we say, if I wouldn't be doing my job, or I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you this question. Would you like to buy this kit and get a sleep blend for free? So why does saying that make you feel so comfortable?
Because they already know that they don't have to buy, but they understand that, yeah, this is your job. This is what you do. And I'm being caring enough about you to ask you, do you want to get this in your home so that you can start taking charge of your health and your family's health?
Yeah. Right. It's part of what you're doing, right? It's part of your role. Okay, so let's walk through, if you ask every single person in the way we teach, which is effective, right? The verbiage is effective. And let's go over the possible scenarios that you can get. So let's say you ask and you get one. You call your referral, they buy, and they're happy. That's first. The second one, you get a referral, you call, they don't pick up, and then what? Or the third, you get a referral, you call, they're busy, unable to talk to you, and then what? And then 4, you get a referral, you call the referral, maybe one person might be annoyed, and so we were discussing this the other day. Tasha has sold over $120,000 worth of knives, and out of all, she only got one person that was upset. And then Kasha, our other coach, she probably received about 250 referrals. She's called them all and no one was upset. So something to think about. The fifth scenario, you ask, they say no, I don't do that. You acknowledge and say okay. And then lastly, you ask and they say not now, but you can check back with me. So 6 possible scenarios, right? Maybe there's others. But what I want you to understand is that your job is to ask with effective communication, and your customer's job is for them to decide. So if you don't ask every time, what you're doing is making the decision for your customers. And that's not cool. Now, I also want to go over the 20-60-20 rule, right? Because it applies here as well.
Harriet, is that your smoke detector going nuts?
Yeah.
Do you want me? Yeah, you want me to take over? Yeah, go fix that and I'll take over.
Thanks.
Okay. Okay. So Heather, or not Heather, Rachel put in the chat like that some people are having so a little bit of pushback, and I think that what Harry was about to say is you have a 20-60-20 rule, right, with sales, right? 20% of people will buy no matter what, won't buy no matter what, 60% up to you, right? So that same approach is going to apply with referrals. So 20% will give you referrals no matter what. You're already getting them, aren't you? Do you have some people that just call you and give you referrals? Yeah, so that's the 20% of people that will do it no matter what. There's this other 20% that just don't do that. I just don't do that. I will never, ever, 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 never, ever. Okay? That's the 20% of people that won't no matter what. Should we let that 20% impact this middle 60%? This middle 60% is up to you. And this applies even in this group. Are any of you guys never ever referral people? 1, 2, 3. Okay. We have 3 never ever referral people, but how many people are on the line? 20. Right? And so the never ever referral people are like, I would never, so I will never ask. Well, 17 of us would totally give you referrals. Right? And so it's just important not to let our own stuff impact. Like you guys you can feel free to be never ever referral people. Right? But just remember that not everybody else is a never ever referral person. What do you guys think about that? Go ahead, Ruth Ann.
If I have somebody come to my door and they just say, well, okay, so you don't want my water system or you don't want my knives or whatever, but could you refer me to somebody else? No,
right.
I won't, because I don't want you bugging them.
Mhm.
because I feel like I've been intruded because I had things to do today. But if you built trust with me and I feel like I like what you have, I like you, I like the way you've dealt with me, yeah, I would be totally on board because you're going to treat my friends just like that.
Totally.
And when the other gal who was talking about, I'm afraid to ask for referrals because that's a favor for me. No, it's a favor for your friends because you've built trust with them. You want to go help your friends just like you've helped them.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
The person, you're looking to help their friends as well as you've helped them. And so it's a different scenario. If you built trust with them, then they're going to be happy to refer you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, you guys are doing great. It's so funny. Every group has a different feel for referrals, so we're always prepared for all the baggage. I'm sure you guys are doing awesome. Josie, go ahead.
Okay, so I might be the only one, but I am really struggling with this referral process.
Sure.
Not the idea of asking for referrals. I'm struggling with the process that we're learning to do the referral. So I was actually just having this conversation where, kind of similar to what Ruth Ann was just saying, it's kind of like if I know the person, I'm a lot more comfortable with saying, hey, can you give me a referral? Do you know some other people that, might be interested in natural solutions? But if it's somebody that I got a referral from, this is the first time I've ever met them, I have a really hard time within the same very first meeting with this person and the first discussion of the oils and the first discussion of, do you want to buy a kit? Saying, okay, will you write down 5 people and help me out, when this person really doesn't know me from anybody.
Yeah. I could see how that would be a challenge for you. Now, have you done this yet? You haven't done it yet though, right?
I mean, I haven't done it with somebody that I just met. I've done it with people that I've had some kind of a connection with, whether it's, just somebody that my kid, he goes to school with, another parent, whatever. But when it's been a situation where it's literally somebody I've never met before, I feel like I'm crossing this line of like, now I'm in your personal life and I'm asking you to give me personal information about people that you know. I have a hard time with that. Now I look at it more from the point of view of, if this person buys a kit for me and I'm going to set up that wish list appointment, and then we have that wish list appointment and that person's excited to get on the loyalty rewards program, and we're establishing a relationship as me being the person that's helping them get these natural solutions, then I feel like it's an appropriate time to then say, do you feel like you've had a really good experience so far? Well, if yes, then can you help me reach out to some other people so they can have this experience?
Sure. So is it cool if I dissect all of it? Are you open to that? Because
you can be mean, coach. Go right ahead.
Yeah. So what's really interesting, the reason I asked if you had tried it yet, is people who are referred give more referrals than personal contacts. Okay? Counterintuitive. Almost everything about sales is counterintuitive. Josie, do you have any ideas why they would give more referrals than personal contacts?
I mean, I wouldn't give out my personal contact information.
Okay, so, but that's you. Okay, so we're talking about people in general.
So no, I don't.
Okay, it's because they have experienced life as a referral. Okay, so let's say you've been referred by Lewis. Okay, and I call you and I say, hey Josie, this is Tasha. Lewis and I were talking the other day, blah, 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 usually what I do, and you say yes. Okay, how do you feel about my sales process? Easy, no big deal.
I mean, this is from me personally, I wouldn't be excited about it just because.
Well, then you would say no, and I wouldn't come over.
I would probably kind of be like, how did you get my information? Like,
right.
that's
so you would say no, so I would never meet with you. So let's try someone else who might meet with me. Okay. If I said, hey, I was calling Lewis, I was talking to Lewis and your name came up, right? And we use the referral approach we teach, right? We were talking about essential oils, your name came up, says you're really nice, care about your family's health. Usually what I do, set up an appointment. Okay, who would say yes to that appointment if you're friends with Lewis? Okay, so we'll take Iris as an example. Iris, you've been quiet today since I've been on. And okay, so now if I now meet with Iris, how is Iris going to feel about the process? She said, yeah, that sounds good. How do you feel about me? Do you think I'm nice and do you trust me?
You're asking Josie.
No, I'm asking you, Iris. How do you feel?
Okay. Josie and I were actually just having this conversation before the call. She's the one.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's funny that I picked you.
It's kind of funny. We were having that conversation. She didn't out me. Thanks, Josie. She didn't give up my personal information. I can see it both ways. I think when you build value and the person sees that you're authentic and you really truly show the passion, like, hey, I believe that these products should be in every home, and Josie and I have had that conversation, then we are doing a service. But then I can see, I don't want my personal information being given to just anyone. I would like a little heads up. But I think if you have that soft approach, like, hey, you know, your name came up because asking who's nice and who cares about their health, and your name came up. Anybody who knows me knows that I care about my health. So if it's an amazing product that I don't know anything about, and someone calls in a nice way to say, hey, I got your name from Josie because she tells me that you are totally into health and I would like to be able to learn about that, I would be open to talking with you, yes. It's all about the approach, and it's about the trust, you know, and not coming across as not authentic. We don't want to come across as gimmicky, you know, and that's, I think, our biggest fear. Right, Josie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I set it up with Iris. So Iris says yes, because I was cool, right? I was nice to her. I was cool, and it was legit. Okay. I go to meet with her.
But I also feel like I can say no as well.
Yep. I gave you an out. Is this something you're open to? And you said, you know what, I am. Cool. I come over, right? We chat. Oh, hi, Haley. Haley's sick today.
Oh.
Where's your dad?
Are you using your oils?
Yeah, we are. Where's your dad? Okay, you can hang out with me. So then I come and meet with Iris, and I say, hey, Iris, tell me about your health goals, help your health concerns. We connect the dots, and in 30 minutes, you have bought a kit. How do you feel about the sales experience? How have you been treated as a referral? And Allison nailed it, right? If I had Daddy's not here. Okay, you stay with me then.
Mommy, why are you in here?
Why am I in here? Because Millie's cleaning my office. Okay. So I do this appointment, right? You feel really good. You've experienced life as a referral.
Mm-hmm.
So you're more comfortable with giving referrals because you realize how I treat referrals.
Right.
Where if I have a relationship with you for 6 months and I ask, right, and I've sampled you and followed you up with you for 6 months,
right,
and I ask you for referrals, even my best friend won't give them to me.
Right.
And that's the difference, is when you experience life as a referral. So I'm in my daughter's room right now because my office is clean. And I'm going to show you guys the monsters under her bed. Okay, you guys ready? Do you guys see any?
No.
Oh, I'm sure they're there.
Especially at bedtime.
There's no monsters, guys.
You're brave to show under your beds. I would never do that.
But do you see my point?
I think for me, it would be, Iris, you know, here's how you can help me out. You could host a class and invite your friends over and I can come share with them. Or if it would make it easier for you, then I can reach out to them since you're super busy and meet with them one by one. I would want the choice of not write down these 5 names, like right now, here's my notebook. That is uncomfortable for me.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe, right?
Maybe.
So,
it really depends. It really depends.
So that's the difference, right? So the approach is written that way because it works. Not because it's manipulative. Is there anything untrue in that approach? Okay. It works because it's honest. It works because it is what it is. But it works because it's confident. So I want you guys to take a step back to when you were dating. Someone asks for your phone number. Okay, because you guys are going to want to take all the teeth out of that approach, right? You'll want to wimp it up. And so somebody comes up to you and says, do you think maybe possibly I could have your number, but if you don't want to, you don't have to. How would you respond to me if I asked you that way?
No.
Why?
Because you'd come across as sketchy.
I'm sketchy.
And
right?
and lacking major confidence, which is a turnoff.
Exactly. With the most precious thing you have, the phone number. But instead, if I look you in the eye, I say, Iris, I'd really love to talk to you again. Can I have your phone number? Right? You'd respond differently. So is referrals the same thing? If I'm like, what I need you to do, and I say it like that, right? Or if I'm like, do you think maybe possibly you could give me some referrals? But if you're not comfortable, it's totally cool. How would you respond?
I wouldn't be interested.
Sketchy. Right? But if I looked you in the eye, Iris, and I said, Iris, how'd you like the presentation?
I liked it very much.
Great. Here's where you can really help me out. I only meet with people I know have been personally recommended to. So what I need you to do is jot down 5 people you know that would be nice enough to meet with me. Not necessarily people you think for sure will buy, just people who are nice and care about their family's health. I'm going to wait for you to respond. Okay? See?
Okay.
She's nodding her. Okay.
Okay.
So here's a pen and my notebook. I really appreciate your help. For every 5 people you give me, I'll hook you up with some free roller bottles. Now,
Okay.
if you say, no, I don't do that, you know what I'm going to do?
What?
I'm
going to say no problem.
I'm going to say no problem. If you change your mind and someone comes up, here's exactly how to reach me.
Sorry.
Okay.
That's okay. And I know, Josie, you wanted to say something. So what was the difference between those two things, right? It was my confidence. And so, yes, the verbiage is written more confidently because it has to be in this place.
Right.
You can't look someone in the eye and say, I think the $600 kit will change your life, and then be sketchy when you ask for referrals.
Right.
It's not congruent. It's like, this thing will save your life. But, if you want to refer me, then, that's up to you.
And if I'm meeting you on a referral, then that's how we got to meet. So it only makes sense for me to pass that along because I was blessed. So if you look at it that way, and again, it's now like processing. If Josie's like, hey, I think Iris really would love to learn about this, and you contact me and I agree to that, and I know that it's not scary, I know that it's not pushy, then hopefully that the people's numbers that I give to you would be, Iris would never put me in a position of something that would not be good for me or inauthentic. So there is that trust, that you want to say, hey, you know what, I have people that I know that are really into their health and I thought of you.
Yeah. And you can always have your customer shoot them a quick, like, hey, I was, chatting with Tasha. She's going to reach out to you. I just want to let you know it's legit.
Right.
I really think that you should meet with her. She's really nice.
And I think, I know the objections or the facts and questions and frequently asked questions was, don't make it too difficult for them. But I think shooting a quick text to your friends like, hey, heads up, my new friend Tasha is going to be calling you. She's awesome. I thought of you. You would really like to learn about this. She's just going to give you a call. No pressure.
Yeah.
I think that would take me 2 seconds and I would feel more comfortable with that.
Right. But like for me, I would be like, just call them.
Okay.
Right. The key here is we let customers choose whether they give you referrals or not.
Right.
Not you.
Okay. Right.
Right. So when we choose, to Harriet's point earlier, when we choose not to ask, right, we're removing the decision from the customer. If the customer chooses to give you referrals and just say, just call them and mention my name, it's fine. That's up to them. Like, I don't have time to call. Like if you, Harriet, right? Like if you called Harriet and said, Tasha told me to call you, Harriet would just be like, okay, cool. Right. We have that. Like, it'd be fine. Right. And like, or maybe maybe it's Okay, I want to reach out to them. Maybe I don't want to reach out to them. Maybe I don't ever, maybe I'm a never, ever, ever person, and that's fine too. And maybe I'm a, okay, here's the one. But I think that the customer should have the choice. And all I want to encourage you guys to do is, if you memorize their approach and you do it consistently, right, the way we've been taught, it will work at least half the time. It just will, right? Have we taught you anything that doesn't? Right?
No.
And so what I worry about, and I really appreciate how much you love customers, and you don't want to make them feel uncomfortable, is that, like, that you base your decisions on actual experiences that are actually happening. And I don't mean that to be like belittle the emotions or anything, because I know this is really real. But first, like, I want you to give it a shot, but in the way that you should give it a shot. Josie,
Right.
I know you wanted to say something earlier, and then your dog kept barking. So
no, I forgot about my son who was getting off the bus and he was ringing the doorbell like,
oh no.
So the dog started barking. So I missed some of what the rest of the conversation was. So if I can't get over this hurdle, okay, with people I don't know, for example, I mean, how much does it really change your success rate if you did wait until like the wish list appointment?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, you will not be able to ask no sales, so you'll lose 20 to 30% of the people you ask there. And then you will also lose 20 to 30% of the people that you never do a wish list appointment for. So you'll be asking half the people. The other thing that will happen is your customers will leave a trail of customers, a trail of dead bodies between your first appointment and your wish list appointment.
Okay.
So I think that might affect it as well. But I would rather you at least do it in the wish list appointment than never ever, right? That's still way better. I think once you do it a few times, you'll be a little bit more comfortable. Where I worry about is if I told you how many customers I've broken for my enroller, you guys would laugh at me. Right? And I'm a trained sales trainer, but you know what? I'm drinking wine and I'm having dinner with my friend. And so I'm not a sales trainer then. Right? And so in between when I enroll versus when you do your wish list appointment with me, how many people and this is your best customers. This is what worries me. What do your best customers do the minute after they buy you a kit?
They tell all their friends, I just met with somebody and I can't wait to get my essential oils. And they start asking questions. And then I may give them wrong information and they're going to be like, well, how much does it cost? And you haven't had an opportunity to build value and to educate and to share in that manner. And I have to say, to Josie's question, I've been doing this for almost 2.5 years. Your warm market goes cold. So it's almost like dating. Are you just going to go hang out at a bar and wait for someone to come up? Or are you going to actively find people who are like-minded, and try to connect with them? And I think if we're going to make this business successful, we only know so many people, but we're also taught that the people that you meet, it's their people you want to be able to meet and to help and to change their lives and help them with their goals. And that's all about the referral. I mean, if you think I only work with people that I know personally or that I've been referred to, that definitely speaks to me, because it basically means I'm not cold calling people. I'm being referred by people, like-minded people who love on each other, and that's how it works.
Yeah.
So if you think of it that way, it's more authentic.
Yeah. And so Josie, it's totally up to you. I just know that I have asked on first appointments my entire life, and it's worked. So I don't know what else. I don't know what else to say.
First appointments right now. I think maybe that's what my problem is.
Yeah. So that's different. So on the back end, right, if you guys are still trying to generate leads, if you feel like I'm being stretched right now, set up a bunch of wish list appointments and ask for referrals there, and your customers will give you some referrals. But that's exactly what we're trying to avoid.
So how do you go back? Like, okay, obviously, we all are starting kind of over again. That's why we're doing this training. We're trying to find a better way. Okay. how do you go back to someone that you talked to 2 months or 3 months or 5 months ago and bring up the referral? Like if you have a small warm market and you've already hit all of your warm market, which is pretty much what I've done, and I just got started. I mean, I've asked some people recently, hey, you know, seems like you're loving your oils, you know, do you know other people that maybe would be interested in learning about them too? And I'm getting like zero success from that.
Yeah, because that approach is different than the one we're talking about here. Because it's out of the blue, and because customers recommend the sales process more than they recommend the product. Because when they recommend the product, they prejudge their friends.
Okay.
Right. So when you say, who do you know that, you know, would be interested in these oils? Right. They're looking for, who do I know that has a few $100? Who do I know that would like, right? Like really the question is, who do you know it's breathing? Because that's who your target market is. Okay. So first, your question is wrong, but just customers don't respond to that. They just don't. And so that's why this approach is written the way it is, and it's written at the first appointment, because customers do in fact respond to it. So if you're going to do it, you have to deposit before you withdraw. So that would be, okay, hey, Josie, you know, I'm just trying to do something new with my business. I realize I didn't click you very much to order on your own. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and set up a wish list appointment where we'll go over through all your goals. I'll give you a list of all the things that will help you with that. You'll have that on your own so that whenever you want to order, you'll be able to order, and I'll help you make sense of all the promotions that come out so you can save the most money. Is that something you'd be open to? Okay. Yes. Okay, great. So then we do the wish list appointment, and at the end you say, hey, how'd you like? The wish list appointment is almost identical to the first appointment, right? Because it's goals, connect the dots, right? Right. How to order. So how did you like this appointment, Josie? That was great. Okay, well, here's where you can really help me out. I only meet with people I've been personally recommended to, so I need you to do blah, blah, blah. Okay. Right, and so it works great right there. So the key is not just to go ask for referrals. Everyone wants to go back and ask for referrals. We don't teach that because it doesn't work. I'm not going to teach you something that doesn't work. And so the thing would be to transition the wish list appointments. But that just makes it more important, Josie, that you ask at the end of the first appointment, because no sales give more referrals than sales. What's up with that? Because they understand, they're not prejudging people. Because you went through cool as a cucumber. Hey, Josie, would you like to give this kit? No? Okay, no problem. What about this one? Is it better for you? No. Okay, what about this one? Is it better for you? No. Okay, no worries. How'd you like the presentation? They're like, it was really good. Well, here's where you can help me out. And they're like, well, I didn't buy anything, so here's some referrals. Right? We're looking at it still from the builder perspective. That's where we're getting hung up on. If you're hung up on referrals, you're looking at it from the builder perspective. And you're looking at it from a fear perspective. We have to get in the customer's shoes, and what are they actually thinking and what are they actually feeling? And you will have a percentage of people that are never ever people. But it's not all of them.
See, when I read it in my head, it doesn't sound as good as when you say it.
Well, let's practice it then. So isn't that the difference though?
Yeah.
Right? You guys ever been to church and they play a new song? And it sounds horrible, right? When everyone sings? And then they play that church's jam. Doesn't it sound awesome? What's the only difference? Everybody knows the words.
Practice, yeah.
So the question, Josie, is do you know the words?
No.
Okay. Then you're not even giving yourself a chance to succeed.
Right. Right.
That, that I think is the real challenge here. Is that you could spend $4,000 on Facebook ads, or you could spend 30 minutes memorizing this approach. Which one would you guys prefer? 4,000 in Facebook ads or 30 minutes to memorize the approach?
Memorizing.
Yeah. Harry, can you pull up the approach? I'm going to totally mean Coach Josie for the next 2 minutes.
Shit.
I know. No, you're good. I would feel the same way if I were you. Well, I'll let you off the hook. But if you practice with me, you'll feel better.
I mean, like, I know that, like, I've read this and, like, I've practiced in my head. It just doesn't sound as good as when you do it.
So will you humor me?
Oh, God.
You take this free coaching. I charge a lot for one-on-one coaching.
All right.
So I would take it. Okay, I'm going to go first. Okay? How'd you like the presentation?
I liked it. It was pretty cool.
Okay. Here's where you can really help me out. I try to only meet with people I know or I've been personally recommended to. So what I need you to do is jot down 5 people you know that would be nice enough to meet with me. They don't have to be people you think for sure will buy, just anyone who's nice and cares about their health. For every 5 people you give me, I'll give you another roller bottle for free. Here's a pen and my notebook. I appreciate your help. Okay? Go ahead. You try it. And just read it. Don't try and sound good.
Well, I don't think I can, but.
Okay, perfect. Perfect.
Okay. All right. So how did you like the presentation?
It was great.
Here's what you can really help me out. I try only to meet with people I've been recommended to or I know personally. What I need you to do is jot down 5 people you know that would be nice enough to meet with me. They don't have to be people you think for sure will buy, just anyone who is nice and cares about their health. For every 5 people you give me, I will give you a bottle of wild orange for free. Here's a pen and my notebook. I really appreciate your help.
That was really good. Okay, my turn. How'd you like the presentation, Josie?
I liked it. It was cool.
Cool. Here's where you can really help me out. I try to only meet with people I've been recommended to or I know personally. So what I need you to do is jot down 5 people you know that would be nice enough to meet with me. They don't have to be people you think for sure will buy, just anyone who is nice and cares about their family's health. For every 5 people you give me, I'll give you a roller bottle for free. Here's a pen and my notebook. I really appreciate your help. Okay, now try it. Try it again.
Oh God, how many times are you going to make me do this?
3 times.
3 times, okay.
Oh, but only if you want to be successful.
I do. I hate being
I know, I'm so mean.
It's all right. It's all right. I'll survive, I think.
Probably. And you'll probably be able to get referrals after this too, so even better than surviving.
We'll see. All right. So how did you like the presentation?
It was good.
Here's where you can really help me out. I try only to meet with people I've been recommended to or I know personally. I need you to just jot down 5 people you know that would be nice enough to meet with me. They don't have to be people you think for sure will buy, just anyone who's nice and cares about their health. For every 5 people you give me, I will give you a roller bottle for free. Here's a pen and my notebook. I really appreciate your help.
That sounded awesome. Who here thought that sounded awesome? Okay, cool. Let's do it one more time.
I'm having a hot flash over this.
Oh, do you know the pen trick?
No, what's that?
You have a pen there?
Yeah.
Okay, stick it in your mouth the way a dog eats a bone. Just trust me. Okay. Okay, you're incapable of feeling fear. Now try it. Take the pen out and go for it.
No, I'm having a hot flash because I'm menopausal, not because I'm afraid.
Oh, well. Yeah, I don't think the pen trick works for menopause.
Oh, I was getting so excited too.
I got an oil for that.
I don't have my peppermint spray anywhere near me right now.
Oh, yeah.
Here, Josie, here's my peppermint roller bottle.
All right. Give it a shot, Josie. You're off the hook in 30 seconds.
Okay. All right. How did you like the presentation?
It was great.
Okay, here's where you can really help me out. I try only to meet with people I've been recommended to or I know personally. What I need is for you to jot down 5 people you know that would be nice enough to meet with me. They don't have to be people you think for sure will buy, just anyone who is nice and cares about their health. For every 5 people you give me, I will give you a roller bottle for free. Here's a pen and my notebook. I really appreciate your help.
Boom. Harriet, kill the screen share so I can see the faces. Okay, how did that sound? How did that feel, Josie, the 3rd time?
I mean, it felt good.
Now,
like it felt like normal. Yeah.
So guys, be straight with her. Did she sound confident enough to get referrals?
Yes.
So if you go back and listen to this, you'll hear the same thing. Josie, you sounded great. Authentic, confident, right? Who would give Josie referrals? Now, some of you might be never ever people, and that's fine. Right? But most of you would. Because you're awesome, Josie. Right? And I would know that in 30 minutes. I would know that you're the real deal. How long does it take for you guys to smell a sleazy salesperson?
Seconds.
And how long can you tell a good one?
Pretty quickly.
Yeah. So can we trust our customers a little bit more, guys? Right? Because what we're saying is that we don't trust our customers' judgment. Okay? Because you're saying, I'm the real deal and I care about people, right? And So if I'm worried that they're going to think I'm something different, who are we actually questioning? Our customer's judgment. Can we just not? Right? Can we just trust our customers to make good decisions and say, you know what, I'm the real deal. And so I'm going to ask you. And if you think I'm a sleazy salesperson, they'll blow you off. And if they think you're awesome, they'll give you referrals. And if they're a never ever, they're a never ever. It's not going to make or break you.
If you don't ask, you're not going to get.
Yeah, but ask well.
Well, yeah, do it well.
Right? Not who's interested in natural solutions.
I've really tried to stop using the word interested.
Yeah.
I try to use the word important instead of using interested, because that really speaks a different language to people. If you're interested in learning, is this something that's important to you? That really makes a difference.
Yeah, it really does. And so, Josie, I just want to start by just saying thank you for being honest about how you're feeling about this stuff. I know that's not easy to do, especially knowing that I was going to pick it apart. Like, that's pretty brave. And I'm hoping that walking through all those challenges was helpful for you. I'm sure it's going to take you a little more time to process it. And whatever you choose to do with your business will support you. I just want to encourage you guys that customers respond way better than you think they do.
I mean, obviously I opened my mouth because I knew you were going to pick it apart. Like I needed a little bit of a kick in the tush, because I've been on a total mental block this whole week with this whole referral thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's okay. And you'll get there, right? And you can, if you want to start with the wish list until you back in, then go for it. Right? If you want to just give it a shot, right, a few times, you'll be surprised. If you are unconfident the first few times, they say, let me get back to you. Just don't be surprised. That's okay. It doesn't mean it doesn't work. Because I have said this thing hundreds of times to people in your target market. Right? When I went to college in San Diego, I had 4 names. And I had to sell there. And I asked those 4, I got 2 appointments. One of them gave me referrals, 15 referrals. From those 15 referrals, I got 4 appointments. Not 15 appointments, 4. From those 4 people, I got more names, and I sold $15,000 worth of Cutco my senior year, and I left with a book of names that I never had a time to call. And I'm not telling you that because you already bought the course I sell. Right? I'm telling you that because that's actually what happened. And it's actually, so what we'll do is we'll post some success stories to help bolster your confidence, guys, from other groups. And it's literally like, I actually asked and they actually gave it to me. I'm in shock. And the only reason we're teaching this is because it does work. It doesn't work every single time, just like the sales presentation doesn't work 100% of the time. Right? And that's okay. But what we want to do is when we tip the odds, we want to help you guys to be successful. We want to remove the pressure. And the key here is to ask everybody, as opposed to certain people. Because when you only ask certain people for referrals, then you're putting pressure on them. So even if you were to go back to people, I know we're over on time. I always do this. I'm sorry. Is if you are to call back customers, instead of saying, I'm calling to ask you for referrals, you just want to say, hey, you know what? I realize I've never asked any of my customers. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just calling all my customers and just saying, have the oils come up in conversation with anyone recently. And it would be easier if I helped them out. Right? And I'm calling everybody back. So if you're going to call customers for referrals, don't pick and choose them. Call them all back, because that will change your confidence on the call. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And if you're going to ask customers for referrals, ask all customers for referrals, because it removes the pressure. Because it changes you. It's like that guy in high school. The guy in high school is like, you want to go out with me? Want to go out with me? Want to go out with me? Gets the most dates. Right? Because he's cool. Right? And some people say no, and it's not a big deal. But when you're like, you are the one for my life, never gets a date with that girl. Right? It's weird and creepy. And it's the same thing when you ask for referrals. It will apply also in recruiting. Right? When you recruit, just ask, I don't want to make any assumptions. Would you like to learn how to earn money? Everybody. Because then there's no pressure and you'll be surprised. Right? Same thing for referrals. I don't want to make any assumptions about whether or not you give referrals or not. So I'm going to ask everybody. And that's your attitude. Just like you say, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you this question. Would you like to buy a kit? I don't know. How does that feel, Josie? You feel like a smidge better than you did earlier, or?
No, I do. I mean, there's a lot of clarification there for me. I was not looking at, and again, like when I'm reading the script, it doesn't sound the same as when you're saying it. So like you're saying it from like this kind of like cool perspective, and I'm thinking of like, when I'm going to say this to somebody, how am I going to come off cool like that? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not like this, like, okay, so can you like find more people so that I can sell more kits? Like, I don't want to sound like that.
Yeah. And you have to change your heart. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's because when we're in this situation, we're asking for referrals, the most personal thing you can ask for. So it is scary. That's why you have to ask everyone. It's counterintuitive, right? When you ask everyone, it's not so scary. When you ask only one or two people, it's more scary. And so I just come from a place of, I'm just going to ask everyone whatever. Where you're coming from, like, if I ask this one person, what does this mean? And so if you shift your mindset and you shift your heart to, I'm asking them and I'm going to let them make a decision. That's my intention. That helps, right? And being that person is the person who makes a decision for other people sometimes. And so when you just remove that and you say, okay, you know what? I'm just going to ask everyone. And you memorize it, right? That's the key. You have to memorize. Otherwise, it will be weird. And we have to just operate from a place of power and not fear. Because what you do is good work. Truthfully. What you guys do is good work. And when you come from that place and you smile when you say it and you use the little pen trick I taught you to leave you incapable of fear. Now, it doesn't help with menopause, I've learned today. But it does eliminate fear, right? Then you come from a different place and you'll be fine. And anything new is you're going to have to stink at it first. And that's okay too. But the worst thing that's going to happen, Josie, is they're going to say, let me get back to you. Nobody's going to cuss you out. Right? They'll just say, you know what? Let me get back to you. And is that going to kill you? No, you'll be fine if they say, let me get back to you. And then after you've done it a few times, you get better and better and better. Yeah. And Virginia had a great suggestion. Just watch this video so you can see what you were like the third time. I agree wholeheartedly.
All right. Thanks for the free coaching call. Everybody else can leave now.
All right. Should we wrap up the call? Harry, you want to tell them about the contest? Let's give them a contest.
Okay. So for this week, to get you into referral asking, we're going to draw names. So what we're doing is we want you to ask on each call, right? So moving forward, we decided 5?
3. I'm easy. I'm not so mean, coach. Ask on 3 appointments.
Ask on 3. No, ask on 3 appointments.
Or get 5.
And then if you get 5.
Yeah. We'll put you in a drawing for a mug. And we know there's something off with the drawings and the way it's tracking on our end. So we're going to check it. Harry and I are going to get on the phone right now and check that out. So I know we got a couple comments on that. So free Emerge mug. I'll post a picture of it. You cannot buy the Emerge mug. It's the one that says stop crying, drink coffee, call someone, sell something. It's not for sale because I don't know how to figure out sales tax. So the only way you can win it is win it. So we have a referral challenge between now and next Wednesday. So
Will you repeat the challenge?
Yeah. Ask for referrals 3 times or get 5 referrals.
Okay.
But in the way we teach you, not like, hey, can you give me a referral? Like, do it right. At the end of a wish list appointment or a first appointment. If you don't know about the wish list appointments, week 6 content. Cool?
Do you find that if you ask on the first appointment, when you see them again, the next time they have more people?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So otherwise you'd be limiting yourself to 5, but this way you may get 5 or 8 or whatever if you get more the second time.
Yeah, I wrote in 5 because most people are scared. Customers will give you half of whatever you ask. Okay, so if you ask for 25, they'll give you 12. If you ask for 5, they'll give you 2. If you ask for 10, they'll give you 5. So I'll let you choose the number that you ask for. No matter what they give you, they're inclined to give you half. So you choose the number of how many you want. You'll be surprised. It's crazy. How many do I ask for? So I don't ask for referrals because if I ask for referrals right now, I would never sleep. Is that horrible? That's so bad. Yeah, because you guys just keep coming over to me. But when I was a Cutco rep, I asked for 25. And I would get 25 probably 3 out of 10 times. And I would get at least 10 on 6 of them, and one person might say no.
But what did you give them for referrals?
Vegetable peeler.
Wow.
It was cost $2.10 on my account. But it didn't matter because it was so good. It's bomb.
I love my Cutco knives.
So, right on, Abby. Yeah. And the only way you can hear about them is referrals. And I'll leave you with one last thought because I can't stop this. I feel so passionate about this. How many of you guys wish you would have heard of not Cutco earlier, of how many of you wish you would have heard of essential oils earlier in your life? And what's the only way you can hear about them faster than if you found them? If someone refers you. Right? So that's what we have to understand, is that when I ask you, Josie, for referrals, that means those 5 people that you give me will hear about essential oils faster. We will avoid one more horrible night. We will avoid one more ER room, right? If we get out in front of this first, right? That's what you guys are up against, right? Because every day your people don't have this stuff, or that my customers' people don't have this stuff, is one more ER trip, one more Solumedrol shot. And you guys might not even know the things I'm talking about anymore, but I know what they are, right? And that's my life. And you can help people avoid that by, this is going to sound mean, but just getting over it.
No,
right?
so true. So true. It is. It's about getting over myself. Like yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, we got you guys, and we'll encourage you if you flop, and you might flop, right? It might come out like complete garbage your first 5 times, and that's okay, right? If you look at the skill set assessment, it moves from do something new, I've never done it, tried and stink, proficient. You have to move through tried and stink. It's up to you how quickly you move through tried and stink, right? Do you want to move through tried and stink over 6 months? Or do you want to move through tried and stink next week and move on? And when you learn how to get referrals, guys, you can teach your team, and they will never run out of names. They will never feel what you feel right now, Josie. Your new people, if you commit to mastering this in the next 4 weeks, your new people, you will train them to just tack it on. They won't know any different, and they'll just get them. And they'll meet their first 10 people, they'll get first 7 enrollments, and they'll get 70 names, and they'll never quit. How would you guys like that?
That would be awesome.
So as a leader, dig into this. This will change everything. All right. So we really got to go.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great day, guys.
You too. Thanks.